What's going on, everyone? Anthony Cofrancesco from Data Dive, and this is Office Hours. Happy Valentine's Day. I know Australia, it's already after Valentine's Day, but we're going to jump in anyway and get started with everything. There might be a few people that join a little bit late, a few stragglers, but it's okay because we got a quick introduction. So today in Office Hours, we're doing speed round, and today we'll be optimizing 3 different products in 30 minutes. Now, if you're joining Office Hours for the first time, or if you've come a few times and this seems a little bit fast, that's totally normal. You definitely want to book a free training call with one of our Data Dive coaches. Everyone here is an expert in the tool, and also many of them have sold on Amazon previously, so they can answer all your questions about the tool and the larger strategies for selling on Amazon. Now, there's 2 different ways that you can ask questions today. You can raise your hand or you can add your questions to the chat. Based on the other 2 sessions, I don't think we're going to have too many. After Office Hours, if you still want to learn more about Data Dive and become a Data Dive expert, there's 3 different ways that you can do this. We have our knowledge base powered by our AI chatbot. We have a YouTube channel. And then we obviously do Office Hours 3 times a week. So if you want to access the knowledge base, there's an icon in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. You can either navigate directly to the knowledge base, or you can type in a question like how to start a dive. And our AI assistant will look through all of the articles we have in our knowledge base, and it'll either give you the answer right there on the screen, or it'll route you to an article. All of the knowledge base articles are images and text descriptions, step-by-step instructions on how to use the tool. Now, if you've seen or are already subscribed to our YouTube channel, we uploaded all of the previous Office Hours videos. I recommend starting with the quick start guide. I'll explain a little bit more of that later. And you can subscribe to the Data Dive YouTube channel. It's just Data Dive Tools. And we're already at more than 1,500 subscribers. So join everyone else and you'll be able to get the content as soon as it comes out. Now, today in Office Hours, we're going to be doing speed round, where we're going to optimize 3 different products in 30 minutes. So for those of you who might be new to speed round, this is the section we're in right now. This moves really fast. It's all about repetition, learning the workflows, and building confidence. Before speed round, we spent time doing the quick start guide. That's more of the essential framework to teach bigger picture concepts. So if you haven't seen any of the speed round Office Hours, I'd recommend checking out the quick start guide first before moving into speed round. And then after this, we're going to move into real world case studies. And this is going to move beyond the theoretical, and we're going to cover examples of how these workflows react in the real world. So like I said earlier, all of the previous speed round sessions are on the Data Dive Tools YouTube channel. So we've already done validation, where we validated 3 products in 30 minutes. We've already gone through the workflow of launching 3 products in 30 minutes. And today we're going to optimize 3 products in 30 minutes. And this is going to be the first part of a 2-part series we do. We'll do another more advanced optimization next week. So here's what we covered over the last 2 weeks. We had 3 different products. We had this cat tree, children's binoculars, and then we had this children's mini trampoline. And so in week 1, we went through this validation workflow where we started the dive, cleaned the master keyword list, did an analysis of the overview tab, and then filled out the product scorecard, filled out the profits tool, and then ran the AI product brief. Based on the information of the product scorecard and the profits tool, we decided if these products would pass validation. And then we moved on in week 2 to actually launching these 3 products. So in order to launch these products, we wrote the listing, we modified the listing based on the AI copywriter output. So we made some changes to it. Then we analyzed the AI product brief in deep dive and used those 2 points of data to create a creative brief. This is something you would hand off to an agency or a creative team to make your images. And then we created PPC launch campaigns. So if you don't understand the validation or the launch workflow, go check out those 2 videos that are currently up on the YouTube channel, and it will make a lot more sense. So today what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that one of the products in this niche is our brand, and we're going to go through the process of optimizing it. So from a high level, this is the optimization workflow. We're going to first check SEO and relevancy, get an idea for how does the SEO landscape look for this niche. Then we're going to inspect the master keyword list specifically for the product that's our product, and we're going to look and see if we can identify any gaps. From there, we're going to compare those gaps to see if there's any gaps inside of the listing builder. Then we're going to move on and rewrite the listing, set up rank tracking, and then next week we're going to actually optimize for performance. So we've already validated and launched products from this niche, but what we're going to do right now is we've picked a product for each of these categories. So for the kids trampoline, we're going to be working on this, pretending that our brand is this radio flyer trampoline. For the kids binoculars, we're going to pretend that our brand that we're working with is Skotar. And then for the cat tree, we're going to work with this brand TS Common. So let me close this real quick, and I'm going to start by grabbing these URLs, and let's go through the workflow. And I'm going to just leave this up so we can kind of see what we're doing here. So it looks like it's going to make me sign back into DataDive. And we'll go through this pretty quickly. Cool. So we're here in the master keyword list. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the SEO landscape for this niche. And like I said, our brand that we're going to pretend is ours is this radio flyer. So what we can get an idea of is that this product is doing quite well. They're selling $37,000 a month with these trampolines, almost 500 units in a month. And then from a keyword ranking, from an organic ranking perspective, they're doing quite well. They're ranked on page 1 for 91% of these 80 keywords in the master keyword list. And when I scroll down and see the organic ranks, I can see there's some high points, right? Where the organic rank is, you have a 5 here, a 5 here, a 3 here. But there's also some areas where the organic rank isn't that high, or like when we have a no number here and the color coding is green, it means that we're indexed out of the top 101 positions for this keyword. So as good as this brand is doing from a search volume on page 1 perspective, we can also take a look at the top seller in this niche and see that Little Tikes is doing even better, right? They're ranked on page 1 for 99% of the keywords in the master keyword list, but their organic ranks look a lot different. It's almost all 1s and 2s with only a few gaps for different keywords here. So the question that we have to ask ourselves is, as a brand like Radio Flyer, this is a massive brand in the US. It's a toy company that's been around for a very long time. We have to ask ourselves, is this good enough? Are we okay with making $37,000 a month in revenue? Or would we like to be making $354,000 a month like Little Tikes? And what is going to be the process from going here at 91% NKL with looks like double-digit ranks for a lot of the keywords? How do we get from here to 99% with almost all 1s and 2s completely down the road? And the first step of doing this is really going to be to look at this master keyword list and try to identify any gaps. Now, if you've seen previous office hours or our videos on YouTube, you'll remember that gaps are just areas where our organic rank doesn't really fall in line with the rest of our organic ranks. So you can see here, look, we've got all basically 1s. We've got a 2 for mini trampoline for kids. But then when we scroll a little further down the list, we can see here their organic rank doesn't fall in line with the rest of the organic ranks. This is Trampoline para Niños, Spanish translation of trampoline for kids, and they're in organic position 8. So this is what I would call a gap for this brand, Little Tikes. If I scroll further down the list, I can see another gap. We've got Brinca Brinca para Niños de 3 años. I don't know what Brinca Brinca means, but they're in position 13. I can see another gap here for another Spanish translation of trampoline para niños, right? In fact, almost all of the gaps that I'm seeing for Little Tikes are Spanish keywords that are still getting a significant amount of search volume, but their organic rank is low. So I like just showing the top competitor. I find that it's usually easier to identify the gaps. But let's look here at Radio Flyer and see if there's any gaps in this master keyword list. So I can see mini trampoline for kids and toddler trampoline indoor. Our organic rank is very high. But like, what's this here? I see trampoline for kids, plural. We're ranked in position 27. If I go a little bit further down the list, I can see baby trampoline 1-year-old. We're in position 29. So if this brand has been around for a while, which it looks like it has, it's been selling for 2 years and 7 months on the platform, all I'm going to want to do is work one keyword at a time and try to say, okay, if I go and look in the listing, is there also a gap in the listing for trampoline for kids? If I look in the listing, is there also a gap for baby trampoline 1-year-old? And I'm just going to work with one keyword at a time, try to fill the gap, try to rewrite my listing, set up rank tracking. And if I can get this to go from a 27 to, let's say, a 12, then I can now move further down the list and try to fill the other gaps on the listing. So let's go over to our listing builder and see if these gaps that are here in the NKL also exist in the listing. So I'm going to clear out all of my data so that we're starting fresh. And I'm going to go over here to the right-hand side to the leaderboard. And I'm going to look at the title, and I'm going to try to find where is Radio Flyer here on the leaderboard. And I can see that right now we're in position 26 out of 30, and we've got 143,000 ranking juice compared to the top competitor in this niche from a ranking juice perspective is at 420,000 ranking juice. So I'm going to paste our title in here, and it's not super surprising to see that this title does not look very optimized from Amazon's perspective, right? I can see there's a lot of keywords here that people are not searching for, right? 2 and 1, no one's searching for. We're using this strange apostrophe after the S for kids trampoline, right? Which is not going to be the most common way people are searching for kids, plural. And then we've got, this is probably good, mini trampoline for toddlers. Then we've got ages 3 to 6 years, and then comma red with no space. I don't think anyone's searching for red. Now, the longer a listing has been around, the less I want to do in terms of removing other keywords, unless I'm sure that these keywords are not getting a lot of search volume. So I just want to look here. If I type in red, right, no one's searching for red. I can see that very clearly in the main image. So I could get rid of that. The thing is, this title is only right now at 81 characters. So removing these keywords is not my biggest priority right now. What I really want to try to do is see, are there gaps in the master keyword list? Are there gaps rather in the listing for things like trampoline for kids? So I'm just going to copy this keyword. I'm going to paste it here. And I can see that for trampoline for kids, we do have this in our listing, but we have this as a broad match right now. And I can see here from this column remaining ranking juice, if I was to rewrite this in an exact match into the listing, I would increase my ranking juice by 23,000. So I've got plenty of space in the title that I can work with here. So I'm just going to copy this over and I'm going to paste this directly into the listing. Okay, so you can see that my ranking juice has gone from 174,000 up to 246,000. And now if I want to make a second change to the listing, I can go a little bit further down and I can see this baby trampoline, 1-year-old. I'm going to go and paste it here again. And I can see that here, I don't have this in my title at all, baby trampoline, 1-year-old. And I can get an extra 12,000 ranking juice by putting this in an exact match in the title, right? So just with those 2 extra keywords, I haven't even removed anything except for red. And I've gone from 174,000 up to 284,000. Now, if I wanted to extract even more juice, what I would do is I would look here at the column for remaining ranking juice, and I can see that just from adding toddler trampoline indoor, I'm going to add 51,000 ranking juice. So I can just copy that. I can paste this here. And bam, like clockwork, now I'm up at 494,000 ranking juice. I'm the #1 in this category from an SEO standpoint. And I'm going to put myself in a really good position to rank not just for these keywords that I've added, but all of the associated keyword roots. Right. So I think I was showing this on an earlier office hours, just adding that toddler trampoline indoor. I'm going to get credit for toddler trampoline, indoor, toddler, and trampoline, which just those 3 words are going to actually give me credit for 80 different keywords covering 284,000 searches. So just adding that one keyword in an exact match in my title is going to give me credit for all of these. I would expect my rank to go up for all of those other keywords. So I might change the formatting of this a little bit, right? I might change the order of this, but generally we still have a lot of extra space here. I could get a lot of additional juice out of this. The other thing that I wanted to note, and we'll get into this more next week, is actually looking at the listing from a visual perspective as well. Once we've checked off that box for SEO, written the listing in the correct way, everything after that is going to come down to performance. So Amazon is just looking at these keywords and they're saying the person who deserves to have the highest organic rank is going to be the seller that has the highest click-through rate, the highest conversion rate, and the highest revenue on a monthly basis. So you got to ask yourself, is this the best possible main image that we could have? Are these the best possible secondary images that we could have? Like, for example, I can look at something like their sizing graphic and say, okay, this might look okay, but what if I would make my sizing graphic a lot more dynamic, convey information a little bit better? So I'm not going to get into any of the creative changes right now, but what I will show you is how I'd set up rank tracking for this product. And I've already done this. I actually started tracking ranks yesterday when I did the North America office hours. And so basically all you're going to do is you're just going to go to Rank Radar. You're going to click Add Products to Rank. You're going to type in your ASIN and you're going to select your hero keyword. And then what I've done here is I've added a highlight from clicking on this checkbox and clicking highlight. And I just had here added kids trampoline indoor to title exact, and then added Spanish keywords to search terms. And if I actually change these on my listing, I would expect that the organic ranks over time would increase. They would hopefully go up from being not indexed out of the top 101 positions to going up even higher from there. So that's where we're going to wrap up with the kids trampoline. Let's move on to the next example. And yeah, so this is what we did, right? We looked at the whole niche for an SEO standpoint, right? We inspected our MKL for gaps. We saw that there were some gaps in the listing builder, so we rewrote the listing, we set up rank tracking, and then from there we would optimize for performance. So the next one we're going to look at are these binoculars. And we're going to be assuming that the brand Skotar is ours. Okay, so let's take a look here, right? We're looking at this brand Skotar. What we can see is that we're indexed on page 1 for 75% of keywords in the MKL, but our sales are quite low. We're only selling 60 units a month for $1,600 of revenue. If I compare that to top sellers in this niche, this seller here, Educational Insights, is ranked on page 1 for 94% of the keywords in the master keyword list, but they're selling $308,000 a month of these kids binoculars. It's actually insane to think about this. They're selling 27,000 units a month. That is a lot of freaking binoculars. So let's take a look though at Skotar and see if there's anything that we can do to help them perform a little bit better. So I'm going to follow that same process. I'm going to look here and I'm going to say, what are the gaps in the master keyword list? So here I've got binoculars binoculars for kids 8-12. And I'm going to open up the listing builder and see if that gap exists in the listing builder as well. So I've already done this once. Actually, I've already done this twice. So I kind of already know the answers to this, but just to show the workflow, we're going to look here at the title leaderboard. We're going to find Skotar. I believe it's up here at the top. And bam, bam. Where are we? Here we go. So we are right now in position 10 out of 30. I'm pasting that in. And this is a little bit different of a story from last time, right? Radio Flyer had very low ranking juice relative to the other competitors. Even though right now we're in position number 10, we're only about 10,000 ranking juice off of the top competitor here. Actually, it's telling us exactly we're 8,778 ranking juice below. Now, I'm still going to go through this workflow and show you, okay, we solved this gap for binoculars for kids 8-12. And so if I paste this here, I'm going to see that, okay, we do not have this keyword in our listing. So I could do this. I could add this in and I'll get an extra 3,000 ranking juice. Okay, this is going to switch from not having any matches to an exact. We're going to go from 131 to 142, and now we're at the first spot in this list. But you might be asking yourself, Anthony, why in the world, if this person has the highest, or they were in position 10 for ranking juice, they're really not that far off from top competitors, why are their sales so much lower than the sales of that top competitor? How are they only selling $1,600 a month, whereas the top seller is selling more than $300,000 in a month? And what you have to remember is that having the highest ranking juice is not going to necessarily give you, it's not going to just wave a wand and make you the best seller in that niche. It's not going to make you the strongest seller. And the reason why is because SEO is just a checkbox item, right? It's either something you have right or something that you could improve. In this case, this listing here for Skotar is actually really good, right? It's already optimized. So I can't go and rewrite if I want to increase my rank for binoculars for kids or kids binoculars. If I want to move from position 23 or 28 to position 1, right, or 2 or 3, or any of these people in red here, I can't just like add this into my listing again. It's already there. I've already told Amazon that we're binoculars for kids. And from what I can tell here, Amazon knows that we are binoculars for kids. It just thinks that we are the 23rd bestseller, the 28th bestseller of these two different keywords. So if we want to get these from 23 to a single digit number, the only way that we're going to do that is from performance. So what Amazon does is they say how the algorithm works is if someone types in binoculars for kids, Amazon just wants to know who is going to give me the highest click-through rate, the highest conversion rate, and the highest revenue on a monthly basis, right? So if we want to increase that, we have to increase our click-through rate, our conversion rate, or our revenue. So if I got on a call with this client and like, Anthony, my sales are just not doing great, right? We've been selling on the platform for 5 years and 6 months. What is going on? If I hadn't already seen this, the first thing I would do is I'd say, well, let's take a look at your images, right? Let's see if there's something in the listing that's prohibiting our product from converting or getting clicks. So I'm looking here, I scroll down. It's like, okay, here we go. Here's Skotar. And I'm like, okay, this still isn't making sense to me because I'm looking at this. It looks like it's a really high quality product. The images look really clean. It looks like it might even be a higher quality set of binoculars than some of the other sellers in this niche. Okay, so I don't see anything here that's maybe hurting them from a conversion standpoint. But when I scroll a little bit further down, I think I see what the answer is. So you'll notice here that the price point that this binoculars are selling at is $27.90. But I can see that the niche median is $17.39, whereas other people, including the top sellers, I mean, some of these people are selling this product for just over $6. So imagine how that might impact performance, your click-through rate and your conversion rate, if you're selling binoculars at double or maybe even 5x plus what the conversion rate of that niche is. So I don't know if this is the entire answer, but I think this is going to be a big fact. It looks like the most expensive product in the niche. And if they don't do a good job of convincing people that land on the listing to actually buy the product, it's going to hurt their conversion rate and sales. And then B, just from a click-through rate standpoint, I think a lot of parents might come into this niche and say, okay, little Jimmy wants some binoculars. And they may not even click on a listing that's $30. They're just going to look and see there's like 5 or 6 people that are selling it below $10. Well, I think that's going to be sufficient for, my kid. So I'm going to leave it with that for right now. I love sharing these examples because we've actually had a handful of people in office hours that either are selling the brand, work for the brand, or know someone who sells. If anyone knows this, I'd love to get the deeper story. I've got some friends in Ukraine I'll have to reach out to and see if anyone can circle in on who sells this product, and maybe we can turn it into a case study. So just like before, being realistic, making this change to the listing is not going to overall change the performance of this product. What I'm saying here is that this listing is already very well optimized from an SEO standpoint. What this seller needs to focus on is what can they do to increase their click-through rate, conversion rate, and revenue, and likely give some thought and consideration to how they're communicating about this being up to 5x what some of the lower price competitors are selling inside of this niche. So we'd set up rank tracking. This is going to be much more on the performance side of things, so I didn't leave any notes inside of here. And now we will move on to the last example, which is this cat tree. We're going to be looking at this VL8 variation for TS Common. So I refreshed this data yesterday. When I pulled the data initially, it was showing that they were indexed for a very small percentage of the keywords in the master keyword list. Let's go take a look and see how we're performing now. So this seller is doing quite well here. They're selling $105,000 a month with these cat trees, almost 2,000 units, and they're ranked on page 1 for 69% of the search volume. Now, as always, we can be doing a little bit better. If I compare them to the top sellers in this niche, we've got a few people that are close to 100%, selling anywhere between $200,000 a month to $300,000 a month just in these cat trees. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sellers that are doing more than 200 grand a month just on this product for cat tree, cat tower. So you can see here that the people at the top are really dominating these organic ranks. So let's do that first check and just see how this listing is performing relative to other competitors in this niche. So I'm going to open up a new tab here, and I'm going to find the TS Common listing in the listing builder, and let's see where they are overall for organic rank. So we're going to go here. We're going to start with the title, and here we go. It's this VL8 variation of the 55-inch cat tree. You can see that we're quite high at the top here, 4.9 million ranking juice compared to 5.2 million for the top seller. So again, I'm getting the idea here that this is going to be more of a performance play than it is going to be an SEO play. We're only down about 300,000 ranking juice here from the top sellers. So I can already start to see that if I just filter by the remaining ranking juice column, just by adding something like tall cat tree tower, I can increase my ranking juice quite a bit. The problem with this listing, though, is that we already have a lot of really important keywords in here. And so because this product has been selling for, it's not that new, actually, only 1 year and 4 months. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is I would have to look and see, I'm already at 200 out of 200 characters. I couldn't really add anything in additional without taking something out. So let's look at the master keyword list and see, okay, we have cat tower here. It's saying right here that we're not indexed for this keyword. I'm going to go and check here and see if this is inside of the listing. And I think from looking earlier, I think they already do have this in here. Yeah, they already have cat tower in an exact match. So again, this is going to be one of those situations where it's like, all right, why are we not indexed for cat tower? Now, the answer could be potentially if we move this earlier into our listing. We have it here, large cat tower. So an option could be to try to isolate this keyword and to try to move it up. This is one of our largest search volume keywords. So we see here cat tree for indoor cats with green leaves. I can move this up a little bit and isolate it instead of using it with the modifier large. It's still going to give me the same exact match. Ideally, too, if I really wanted to get my rank up, I try to put it in within the first 5 words, right? So we've got TS Common 55-inch cat tower, and then after that, we're going to call it a cat tree for indoor cats with green leaves, and that's all still very readable. Certain things like multi-level, right? We're not seeing any keywords related to that, so this is making it a little bit more readable, but like I could potentially remove that. Let's go a little bit further down the list. See, we have cat houses for indoor cats. And what I'm going to do for right now is I'm actually going to open up the bullet points as well on this. Here we go. I have to click on that button. I haven't really done this too much of. I do want to inspect what's inside the bullet points as well. They're using a lot of emojis. Typically not going to be great advice to do that. Every bullet point has 3 cat emojis. Risky. Technically against TLS. Yeah. You can see here too from bullet points, like we're just a lot lower down this list. We only have 12,000 ranking juice. So like, for example, adding in something like this large cat tree tower, we want to make it make a little more sense than this. Curious. Now we can jump our bullet points up to position 5. So even though we're already indexed, we've got a lot of keywords already in our title. This niche, if you remember from validation, this has a ton of different ways people are searching for the product, 250, 246 different keywords. So some of these other gaps that we have, like, further down the list here. So like cat condos here we go, tall cat tower, cat climbing tower, cat tree tower for large cats. What I would actually consider doing with this is actually just opening up the AI bullets. I'm just going to just copy over some of these and see what the AI does for me in terms of building up these bullet points. So let's get this cat houses for indoor cats. And then get that one. Go a little further down, tall cat tower. I'm curious to see what the output is on this. Cat climbing tower, I think that's related enough. We'll see if I can make both of those into a bullet point. So I have 2 more. I make this cat condo yet. Wow. Cat tree cute. Very nice. So I'm going to click generate and let's see what the AI does here. What it should try to do is use these input keywords to create bullet points with these as exact match keywords. Nice. So, wow, we're getting a ton of ranking juice for that bullet point. And cat tree cute. Yeah, it did not actually make a sentence out of that. So I would probably remove that. But for right now, I'm just going to click use in listing. And let's see where that puts us for bullets. It puts us in 5 overall with 582,000 ranking juice. So we could still go up a little bit higher if we would tweak around with that. You can see that last bullet point didn't give me any extra ranking juice because it couldn't actually make a bullet point out of cat tree cute. That would probably be something I would decide to just put in search terms because I don't think anyone can make a sentence out of that, even really good AI. So I think that's where we're going to wrap up today. Again, what I would do is I would just set up rank tracking for this. I've already done this for the cat tree. So I just scroll down and I see it. There we go. And I think I did put a couple notes in here. If you look at our heat map, this is a 52-inch version, but you can see here, like added more into my title. And yeah, that's basically it.